welcome back everybody to the DarkHorse Experience. Alright, tonight we have a very special episode where we are talking about...
No bullshit. What are we going to talk about, Zach?
Co-parenting.
Co-parenting.
So, gentlemen, as somebody who is not married or, well, I am seeing somebody with a kid, but as somebody who doesn't have a kid with anybody, I will let you guys take the floor on this one.
All right. First off, Zach, let me ask you a question. Do you
Shoot.
believe in co-parenting? Do you think it's possible?
Yes. To answer your question straight up, yes. You want me to
Okay.
elaborate?
Please.
Yeah, so I think it's going to depend on every party involved. So mom, dad, stepmom, mom, dad, whatever the order of it is. I think it's just going to depend. Are you going to work together? Because it's really not about you anymore. You kind of got to you can't be selfish. You got to think about your daughter, or your son, or whatever. So that doesn't mean that shit ain't going to be easy. Doesn't mean that the other person isn't a shitbag. But it's possible. Yes.
So I believe it's possible to a degree. It's got to be the right set of co-parents. Because I can tell you right now, not everybody gets along. Not everybody makes it easy. Not everybody cares for just that child's sake.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that co-parenting is a real thing when you don't have a relationship anymore with your ex. Not a thing.
Well, Josh, let me ask you the question. Let me shoot it
Sure.
right back at you. So
Right.
since you more or less said you don't really believe in it, there's a variance. I get it, a little gray area.
Sure.
But are you civil? If it doesn't work and it's not going to work, can you and are you remaining civil?
Can you be civil? Yes. Can you make that person be civil? No.
Are you civil?
I'm not. At times. At times, I'm not the most civil person.
There's
I'll
the
be
answer.
straight with you. But when you make a dumb decision that affects your child's life, not just the day, not just the week, not just the month, but the child's life, yes, I'm going to get fired up if you're giving them the wrong information. I'm going to get fired up if you're putting them through hell emotionally.
Absolutely.
So it's hard to
I
sit back. It's hard to
100%
sit
agree,
back
yeah.
and sit there and say, like, I totally believe in co-parenting. No, not when it comes to X and X. Now, I do believe it when you're in a relationship. Like me and my wife, we each have one previous relationships. We made it work. We co-parent like no other, man. We put everything on the table. We sit the kids down. We have real talks, reality checks. We have it all. Like, we co-parent to a degree that is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, my situation's just like, that's what's cool about this, ladies and gentlemen, today you're going to get the spectrum of everything. You've got Josh where he's bringing 1 and 1. My situation is 1, and then I have a daughter with my wife. So we're co-parenting with 1, Sophia, my other daughter, 10 years old, have to share and do all this stuff. So it's challenging. And Jeff, you just mentioned right in the beginning, bro, you're dating someone that has I believe you said an 18-month-old. So we literally are able to cover every bit of the spectrum here for anybody that would be listening to understand that, like, Josh, you got this point of view and this thing. Jeff, you've got this, having a baby and all that. And I've got mine. We're all three here going through it in various situations. Josh, you said co-parenting can't exist. It just depends.
Well, I don't think it depends on the right set of people, right? Like, if you just have 2 negatives going at it all day, you're not going to get shit. You have 2 positives going at it, you're not going to get much. Like, if they just want to repel each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it takes teamwork. Even if you're not in a relationship with that person, you have a child with them and you have to raise them. So it does take a level of teamwork. Like, there has to be an agreement with both sides.
But, and that's the hard part, right? So, like, I'll put it out there. I am not, like, friends with either one of our exes. I think they're both extremely selfish of themselves. I think You know, they don't put our children first. They put their emotions and their feelings first. And then it's up to the kid to, you know, eat that. Like, you know, I'm going to talk about this thing. We call it the Disney World effect, right?
What is the Disney World effect?
The Disney World effect is when you have one set of parents who have the children majority of the time, right? Mm-hmm. So Monday through Friday, every week, every other week, you know, and the other parent, the other set, doesn't get the child as much, right?
Right.
So this parent over here who's got them all the time, they're teaching structure, they're teaching respect, they're teaching manners, they're teaching kids how to be people in this world. Where over here, they go to their other parents and it's, oh, we're going to go to the skating rink, or, oh, we're going to go to the amusement park. I have you for the weekend. So we're just going to go do all the fun shit. They don't teach them, you know, discipline. They don't teach them the manners. Like every time they come back, it's a hard reset. And when I say that, it's like they play us, you know, they can play off of their emotions. Our kids are extremely smart. And I mean, they have these other parents wrapped around their finger.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that?
I can chime in because I can tell you from personal experience. We call it reprogramming. So, and I know you like your Disney World effect, but it is the same thing. We are the structure. We are what I would call the disciplinary parents. And then whenever she goes to her dad's, it's like all fucking fun and games, man. It's like a party. And then when she comes back, it's like she has forgotten some of the stuff that we have taught her, and it's just like some of the stuff that she does, you're just like, hey bro, what are you doing here, man? And then it's like this thing of like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, we have to reprogram her a lot. And we're in the situation with COVID and going to school online that we have her Monday through Friday. Luckily she's back at a hybrid thing, but anyways, it was Monday through Friday. We had her all day. She had to go to school all day. We had to work all day. So then, you know, whenever it was their days through the week, they would come, you know, he would come and get her. And then it would be like, I'm in school all day. And then I've got these parents that are like, did you do your homework? Did you do this? Did you do your chores? Are you doing all these things? Yes, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just like, go have fun and then get back. And it's like, oh, now it's back to like the structure and being like rigid and all this. Cause I don't fuck around, man. If you're making a mistake, I let you know it and I correct you.
Yeah,
and it's fun. It's very challenging because we are stuck in each other's lives forever until this child, and even when this child gets older, it's not like they go away.
It's forever.
You know, I mean, it's forever. So that's why, you know, we do our best to remain very civil, and we don't do any negative shit in front of Sophia when it comes to her dad. There's no like trash talking. There's none of that because I'm not trying to give her a complex.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard enough being a kid, right? It's hard enough being a kid with divorced parents and jumping back and forth and all that stuff. So it's a challenge. You gotta try to remain calm, like all the time.
But how do you try to remain calm when you literally put all the bullshit aside and say, look, I'm telling you right now on my end, it's not about me. It's not about you. It is about this kid. And you just want to sit there and try to prove that you're right all the time. You don't even think you're wrong. Like you are wrong.
Well, I think if I may interject, I think that comes down to trusting your kid to understand what you know they know as right and wrong. And yeah, they're gonna be kids. They're gonna try and use the easy route to their advantage. Everybody, even adults, do that. It's not like it's a kid thing. Everybody tries to do that. They want to take the easy route because it's, you know, there's less resistance, but it doesn't make it the right route. So you have to entrust in your kid that what you've taught them is the right way to be. And hopefully one day they see that. Because again, like, just as much as you can't control the other parent, to a degree you really can't control the kid. All you can do is hand them the manual and say, this is what I've learned. Either you can make the same mistakes that I did, or you can learn from my mistakes and hopefully become better than I am.
And I'll be honest, like I do trust that my kids, they do make mostly the right decisions. But again, they're not used to seeing this other half correct them when they're wrong.
Yeah.
They're also kids, so.
I mean, I agree. They are kids, but you know, when they come back with like these snotty attitudes and like, I'm this queen and you should bow to me, like, not here.
Yeah.
Did you forget who you were before you walked through that door?
Yeah.
No.
I just say you wanna try that again. If
Exactly.
I get any attitude or lip, I look right at her and I say, you want to try that one more time? And right then she realizes, now I know where I'm at. Like, I can watch her get corrected. I can see the stuff going. That doesn't mean that like mistakes aren't made, because you know, a 10-year-old or whatever, kids are kids, man, and that's the whole point of life. Right. But when you were saying dealing with the parents and stuff, if they are like damaging in any way your child's mental or physical health, then I think as a parent, if you legit can prove it and deem it, then, you know, I mean, go for full custody. If you're serious about it, if you think that it's really going to be a harm to your kid, and everyone out there knows this, if you feel it, you got to be able to prove it.
Well, first is you have to be able to talk about it. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, no bullshit aside, I'm not the parent that sits back and just like, I hope they don't do that. Like, no, if you're wrong, I'm the first one to say you're wrong. You are hurting this child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I put it on the table first. I give you an option. Like, you can either do better, or there's gonna be a grave that you're gonna lay in, because you're already digging it.
Yeah. Well, also you have to. A thing I think about too is like the whole like it's tough for me, but it's like kill them with kindness. Play the game for as long as you can, because what's going to happen is time is going to take care of a lot. Our children are going to get older, and when they get older, they get smarter, and then they start to see shit for how it is, and they start to learn real fast that like, dude, I prefer to have a structured home where, you know, they're teaching me how to grow up and live in this world versus being pampered all the time. I mean, look, as a kid, a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, what kid isn't going to want to be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to like my mom's house because she's giving me everything I want.
Yeah.
But like, and I've talked about this with my wife and said with Sophia, I can guarantee you she's going to hate us at times due to the way we are like parenting, but later in life, she is going to thank us. And it's just going to take a long time. I mean,
let me ask you this. With that being said, do you ever have a fear, like when they're old enough to like decide and pick who they want to live with, for you being the disciplinary and you sitting there saying what you did, do you ever have that fear in the back of your brain where you're sitting there going, shit, man, like maybe we're too hard on her and now she's just going to go ahead and live with the opposite.
What if they don't pick me?
Like, then what? Like, have you ever thought about that?
Oh, absolutely. And I will tell you this right now from my experience. If and when it ever comes to that time, and I'll run a hypothetical. Let's say Sophia goes, well, it sucks here. You're too hard. You've got too many standards. Your expectations are too high. I'm freaking out, stressing out. I want to go with my dad and whatever, right? I'm a person that will go, okay, go for it.
You'll be back.
Go for it. You'll be back.
Yep.
You'll be back faster than you think, because what's going to happen is you're going to quickly realize that if this person isn't used to having you as much, things are going to change fast for them too.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
So there's still a fear, because it's like, how would that? And for me in this situation, you know, I am Sophia's stepdad, so that would be like for my wife Kate to be like, if she had that situation, I feel like we're of the same mind. I think she'd be like, okay, go for it, have fun, I'll see you in like a week or two, because that's how fast you'll be back. And
the kids aren't thinking like, you know what, they're not going to correct me. In some cases they might not, you know, let's be honest, some cases they just might not.
Yep. Well, think about this. So let's worst case scenario this for a second.
Yeah.
So you do all the stuff that you're doing. You're raising them up the way you feel they will have the best shot at this meat grinder of a world.
Right.
So, and then all of a sudden, I don't know when it happened. So at one point when they can legally make that decision and go, I don't want to live with you anymore. So what happens then is they move out and they go stay with their other parent for as long as it takes. And if they never come back, well, then that will be a topic we will have to discuss on this then, how to deal with that. Because I don't know if I could. Like, if Sophia was like, adios, deuces, I'm not coming back, I'd be like, shit, like, didn't see that coming.
So I mean,
I don't know.
It's okay to feel this way. We're just letting everybody else know, like, if you're feeling this way or you have questions, like, by all means, reach out to us. Tell us if we're right. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell if you have a better idea. Like,
yes, please comment and give us your thoughts and ideas and all of it, because this isn't uncommon. A lot of people are struggling with this on, like, it's probably a ridiculous amount.
Yeah,
so
it's everywhere. It really is.
Yeah.
I feel like my generation, like a lot of parents were married and stuck together, most of their lives until, when the child's like, we'll say 25, 30, then they might get a divorce. But now today's world, like our kids, I noticed there's a lot more kids that have split houses and split parents and this and that. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, going through it, like, everybody on here, if I'm not mistaken, is divorced or gone through a divorce.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, look, man, that's a tough time in your life. But I think for me, and this is my own opinion, is that my parents, like that generation, would eat so much shit from the other spouse, no matter what, because I feel like they were fucking lied to.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't value the tradition of marriage. I just don't think that you should stay in a marriage if you're miserable.
Right.
So that's all I'm going to say about that, man.
That's a different topic for a different day.
Yeah.
We're digressing a bit too much there.
Bit.
So
let me ask
that's my job. What are you doing?
Yeah. Let me ask you another question on co-parenting. I think this is a fun question, me personally.
Sure.
Do you ever eavesdrop on the child's conversation with the other parent? Like, if they call your phone, do you put it on speaker, hand it to the kid? I'm not saying like you're sitting right next to them, but you're in the kitchen. Do you eavesdrop and listen to the shit that they're telling them? Or do you respect that? And or both?
So at this stage of the game, there's not really any of that going on. Due to the schedule and everything, nobody's really talking. We're not, when it's your time, it's your time. But before, when she was a little bit younger, and like, during COVID, when we had to quarantine and were locked down for like 3 months and couldn't go anywhere, yeah, they had phone calls and stuff. And I will admit there were times where, we'd be like, hey, just go out into like your room, the kids' room, and we would just, instead of sitting in the living room, we might like sit at the island and hear a little bit about what's being said too, because also I don't, it's almost like, I trust my kids, and I have a 1.5-year-old, so I don't trust her at all. She's a little devil, but just kidding. I love you, Olivia. But anyways, you have to like be careful too, because like if stuff's said, like what if that other parent is saying some shady shit about you? What if they're putting you down on that stuff? And that's like, you got to nip that quick, because that's just not good for the mental stability of the child.
I mean, I'll be honest, there's been times that, and sometimes I don't even think about it, just because I know, like, as a child, you don't speak as loud. So if you put it like on speaker, because they typically hold it this way anyway, like, I'm guilty of just doing that for them. But there's other times that I'm also guilty of going like, because I question things. I question their motive. I question their relationship. I question a lot of things. So there's times where I'll sit there and I'll zone in. I'll focus to hear what false lies or false promises they might be telling the kid.
Yeah, and you need to be in the know. You need to know.
So that was my next thing. Do you think it's your right to know what the other person is saying? At times. I agree there's also a cutoff limit, because eventually time's going to tell itself. Karma's going to catch up to that person. It's going to be a bitch. They could ruin the relationship even more than even starting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's your question was like, is it Do you give them that space? I think it's a question of what type of parents are you dealing with here. You know, I think you do at a time need to give them their personal space and respect them, because if you want respect, you got to give it a little bit, man. Sure. I mean, you know, it's not just as simple as like, I'm your dad, you know, I own you. It's not like that at all. So yeah, I mean, she would have times where she would go and like take her phone or one of our phones or the tablet up to her room and have a conversation, and we would just, you know, we would say and be curious, like, I wonder what they're talking about. And I'm like, probably some artwork.
Did you ever go sneak up the stairs and just for a couple seconds and be like, okay, and then sneak back down? No. Are you guilty of it? Is she guilty of it?
I would say I'm guilty of like, I use it as like, I'm intelligent. I keep her close. I wouldn't be like, you ain't going far enough away to where I can't hear you. You're going far enough away to where I'm giving you.
Maybe you're looking at it the wrong. Maybe you're looking at it the wrong way. You give them that space. So okay, go to your room. You can close the door. However, that's giving them their space. They don't know you're on the other side of that door with the cup going. Oh shit, that's what that said.
Yeah, I mean, look. So I think that you answered the question that you do it. So, or you've done it. Sorry, you've done it. I think if we're all in the situation, you've all done it. You've all chimed in. You've all peeped around the corner and just listened for a little bit and be like, all right, they're just talking about some Disney movie. Like, okay, that's cool.
That's, well, again, it's more not just for us, but it's also for this universe. You know, some people might be questioning.
Like, yo, you're sitting at the kitchen table here, and I'm on the other side, and you're talking on speaker, and that's it. That's all you get, because I don't trust the other person. And unfortunately, there are situations. Yeah, they're in a bad situation where the co-parenting isn't working, or it's just seems to be negative, and yeah, that presents a unique challenge. And by all means, listen.
Hey, fam, we're here. We're listening. We'll help you.
Yeah,
we will.
Yeah.
I think it could be a very case by case basis, because if you give your kid the space and you give them kind of that trust, that, you know, just a level of trust. It doesn't have to be full, but you give them a little bit of trust, and you see that it's working out, and that, you know, they're still being, you know, they're turning into responsible little adults, then I think it's warranted. But if you give them that trust and they start getting very secretive, or they start disrespecting or mistreating you in some way, then you have a right to know what's going on. Why are you forming this opinion around me based on information that I never gave you? So
pay attention to the behavioral changes, man.
I think that's a huge thing when it comes to the level of trust you give your kids.
I agree.
I think that's fair.
As someone that doesn't have kids, that's my interpretation.
Well, you've also been on the outside looking in on, you know, at least the past 11 years of my life. I mean, with Peyton and hearing that side of the story.
Yeah, and my parents are no longer together, and my brother had to go through the co-parenting, which he's an adult now, but I got to watch all that kind of as a third party. You know, and I've dated a few women who have kids with others, and, you know, I've seen kind of, you know, including my current girlfriend. So there's the watching it as a third party, kind of seeing that whole evolution and all those situations go down. And you know, there's a part of me as in my role where, you know, a part of me wants to be that superhero, that, you know what, like, thanks. Appreciate it. There's a part of me that wants to, you know, show up and be like, you know what, I'm gonna show him, oh, you know, how a real father is. You know, the part of me that really wants to do that. But then there's the side of me that goes, no, I need to back off. I need to show him what kind of man I could be. But that is still, no matter what happens on the other end, that is no reflection upon the type of man that their father's going to be. It has nothing to do with them. It can only be about me and my relationship with that child. So, you know, you got to kind of kick the ego back. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You know, I've been quiet for like 20 minutes, but, you know, I appreciate it.
Has it been killing you?
Yes, it has. No, it's yeah.
All right. I think we covered quite a bit for this first topic thing. I really do.
Old slow clap Jeff.
Yeah.
However, so why don't we finish it out in a fun little fashion? Let's play a quick game of Would You Rather.
Okay.
Okay. I'm interested.
You're interested? All right. We'll start with Jeff first. Jeff,
Yes.
would you rather take an atomic wedgie for 24 hours straight, or would you rather jump into a swimming pool full of spiders? Guaranteed 50 of those pools are poisonous.
You're gonna die.
Might not hit you. There's thousands, millions of spiders in a swimming pool. 50 of them are poisonous.
Still gross.
Or an atomic wedgie for 24 hours straight.
Who's giving me the atomic wedgie?
Doesn't matter. The most painful wedgie you could ever get.
Oh, it matters. Who's giving me the wedgie? Who thinks they're man enough to give me an atomic wedgie for 24 hours?
Rudy Giuliani.
He's not strong enough, so take that.
Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with the wedgie because fucking. I mean, spiders don't bother me, but just the chance of their even if they're not poisonous. Like I've been bitten by spiders that aren't poisonous, and it sucks. It's gross, and it fucking leaves a little red bump, and it fucking doesn't go away for a week. Yeah, it's nasty. So I'll take the wedgie, and you know what? I'll take my chances. Whoever decides they would like to try and give me a wedgie, please.
Rudy.
Rudy Giuliani, bring it on, old man.
He'd be like,
Let's see how tough you are. Yeah, let's see how tough you are with your New York accent.
He'd probably put a finger in your butt, though.
He might.
You know, he could try. That'll
Yeah,
cost
he's
him extra.
definitely doing the. Jeff's picking that one then.
It'll cost him extra. All right, who's next?
I can go.
Yeah.
So this will be for Josh, just because I love space. So, would you rather the first aliens to arrive? They already have, but would you rather them be robotic or organic? And here would be like a caveat. Which one would wipe us out?
I would rather go organic. I think the cyborg type would take us out faster.
Yeah.
I'd rather go organic. They might teach us some really cool shit instead of like AI stuff where they're programmed to just want to take us out later in life.
I mean, I look at it as like organically, they might have compassion and feelings.
Right.
They might have a soul of some sort. A robot.
It could be a really fucking nasty.
It could be super advanced, right, with its own AI. It'd obviously have its own AI, but I just don't know. I think I'd feel more comfortable with an organic thing.
I would go organic. I feel like there's a better communication there in all ways.
Mostly
Jeff, you got one?
Yeah. I got one for Zach.
Let's go.
So we'll do it. All right. So the scenario is you bite into a burger. When you take a bite, would you rather pull back and see what is clearly a fairly large lump of pubes, or use bloody Band-Aid?
Oh man, that's awful. Well, I'm gonna have to, dude. I'm gonna have to go with the Band-Aid because hair in my food is the worst. I get hair in my food, I am immediately done eating it. And also,
but the Band-Aid, he's like, you know what? Just it's fine.
Yeah, well, I'm obviously done eating anyways, but like with the pubes, like they could have shit in them. There could be stuff in there that I could get on my face and my mouth. Yeah,
you could have a side piece. You could have that.
Also, the blood could have AIDS, and I could die. Yeah. So it sounds like I'm pretty fucked, but because of my own growth, I cannot stand hair and food. Yeah, I'm going with the Band-Aid.
Yes, I will take the surf and turf burger all day.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. All right, folks. Well, I think this is a really awesome session. And it's a great way to leave off, grossing the people out. All right.
We just lost people.
Yep, we just lost some viewers. Appreciate it, Josh. Thanks.
I'll be back.
So, again, thank you everyone for the support. Don't forget to leave comments down below. Give us tips on how you co-parent, because I can't talk. Rules that you may have or guides that you kind of use to steer your own ship. Don't forget to click that like and click that subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications whenever we post a new video, don't forget to click on that bell icon.
Bing.
So that way you can get updates when we do upload videos. All right. So everybody just don't forget to expect the unexpected.
Deuces, gooses.
Later.